And I think this is a bit of a warning that I want to make a bold statement and put it out to people in general, but then also us therapists specifically. I feel like we look at the motivation of somebody and we forget that they have a high level of ambition, likely for what it is that they want, like, and enjoy.
Well, we say shoulding on yourself because you're
That's-
using the word should.
That sounds like Albert Ellis.
Yeah,
So-
I think it probably is.
Who's Albert Ellis? I'm sorry.
REBT.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically saying
We had an eye roll on Victoria's part. I might point out on the YouTube channel.
but it's basically saying that, like, with the word should comes a lot of shame and blame and weight carried on your shoulders. And so simply by changing your verbiage to like could or would, then you can kind of ease that pressure, ease that weight and blame off your shoulders. And so I'll even say it to my clients, I'm like, you're shooting on yourself again. And like, is that like, and I think it kind of goes to what John was saying about people feel like they should have this ambition, but no, like, you probably do. You just need to like find it.
Right. Well, unearth it or unbury
Right.
it because it gets buried under the weight.
Go to
of the
therapy or
burdens that
something.
we have. Yeah, Victoria, I think they work together. Neil, what are you thinking, buddy?
Do you think that earlier that someone figures out which one motivates them, the better they are? So basically the idea is, because everyone's different. Elon Musk, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, intrinsic. They have ambition. They just wanted to go do it. But some people do need that out external source. Do you think the sooner they just figure out which one compels to their nature, the sooner they can nurture it and it makes it better for them?
Boy, that's a dynamic question. Seriously,
That's a great
it
question.
really is dynamic. Yeah. What? I almost feel like I need to think about it for a minute. What are you guys thinking, John?
Well, I'm thinking on two levels, and is that one reason why people go in the military is that they have a need for it, external structure and all of that. The beauty is that somewhere down the line, and this is where you make them thirsty, is where the person will say, I can do this. This is something that I want for myself.
Yeah.
And to make it, internalize it. I also, there's another illustration that is biblical, and at seminary, the word seminal is like a seed. And so that's an internal sense. You can
Plant a seed.
Plant a seed. You can
Somebody.
prepare the soil, and the seed has to germinate. And so one starts to develop
And then it
desires, and then it grows, and it's very complex, and it grows in its own way, and it becomes a wonderful.
I think what I'm struggling with, though, John, is that Neil. It's a really good question because, to paraphrase it, though, again, you're kind of like, look, wouldn't it be helpful for a person to learn their tendencies, to know kind of what it is that they are motivated from, either internal or external, and then they can mature and grow and get ambitious quicker. Like that's part of the way we want to try to grow ambition. Is that paraphrased kind of close?
I think that kind of paraphrases, but I think going back to nature versus nurture, that statement, the idea is the more you know about your nature, the more you know how to nurture it. And I think that's
that.
key, because I think if someone says, I don't have motivation, you start talking to them, or I don't have ambition, well, you figure out, well, how do you get something done? I think about my kids. My oldest just got to college yesterday, which is really crazy.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we put him
Yay.
in. But I remember like seeing it, like he's better about like setting his schedules with school, and that helps him motivate, get everything done. My youngest is kind of like, he can kind of do his own thing. He doesn't like schedule. So they kind of learning what motivates or what pushes them to get to that next step. They've learned. And I feel like if you don't understand that it's internal versus external, or I need deadlines, I need this, or I need that, it's hard for you to set that. Maybe you need deadlines to do it.
But there's a problem there.
But if you don't know it soon enough, you're just going to be swimming in the sea, and you don't know what you need to do. It's just this wide open thing. So if you don't address or know whether you're intrinsic or extrinsic, however you pronounce that term, it's hard to. How do you build that ambition if you don't know where your strength is, right?
I think you got to have both, though. You start out knowing your strength, but there's an inherent danger there, I feel like, for people. Just take the word people pleasing, if you will. A lot of people identify, oh, I'm a people pleaser. That means that you have external locus of control and you're extrinsically interested in ambition, motivated by pleasing the other people. And that might be your strength. You read the room, you know, are compliant, and people love that, and you follow structure, and we need that. We need good foot soldiers, if you will, John.
Right.
But at the same time, you got to turn that around, because we're not going to give you structure throughout life, and so you run a deficit if you don't focus on building the skill up of having that internal locus of control.